the all-in-one school and learning management portal designed for tertiary institutions, universities, polytechnics, and colleges. Editans Pro delivers a seamless digital transformation of students' experiences from admission to graduation, while empowering academic and administrative staff with tools to improve productivity and streamline teaching and learning. The platform is designed on an intuitive single login interface for all users, staff, and students, secured with role-based permissions and a two-factor authentication system for privacy. Personalized dashboards provide direct access to authorized modules, ensuring a smooth user experience. The admin dashboard acts as a centralized hub for real-time insights and quick navigation. Admins can track student and staff enrollments, daily, weekly, and yearly revenue with financial projections, and student performance analytics for data-driven. Links ensure seamless access to key modules like admissions, bursary, and registry. For admission officers, Editans Pro offers flexible tools to create admission batches, customize application forms, and set fees for early or late applications. Define separate admissions for undergraduate, postgraduate, or MD and HND programs. For applicants, the platform allows them to select a program of choice, submit applications, and pay fees online, print forms for records, and receive real-time notifications on admission status. Admission officers can review applications, send decision notifications, and configure automatic matric number generation based on the school's templates. The system ensures a smooth and transparent admission process with real-time analytics for stakeholders. The bursary module simplifies fee management and financial reporting. Bursary staff can define payment aids, school fees, acceptance fees, and more, and set installment options, e.g. 50/50 or 70/30. Students can view outstanding fees, select payment plans, and make payments with ease. Upon payment, students receive instant receipts, while bursary staff gain access to real-time financial reports for informed decision-making and account reconciliation. The academic planning module enables schools to define curricula, courses, grading systems, and course status for each program. This ensures academic structures meet accreditation requirements while supporting efficient course registration and result processing. One module streamlines course registration for all stakeholders.
Good afternoon, everyone. You're welcome to today's session. I am Queensley Ademola, Digital Education Assistant Manager of Editans. And it's so nice to finally have you in our session again. You're welcome. So today, we're going to be discussing something very unusual, and I'm super excited for what we have in stock today. But before diving right into it, you know how we used to preach it. Editams is the one sponsoring the show, and Editams is a school and learning management platform which has three major products: Editams Pro, Editams Basic, and Editams Essential. Editams Pro is specialized for tertiary institution and very flexible for any institution of your choice, either polytechnic, monotechnic, universities, and colleges of education. Editams Basic is specialized for private K-12 schools, and Editams Essential targets the public K-12 schools, and we have example of OG Sarah. So it's so nice to finally have you. And please, if you can hear me, just drop your favorite emoji in the comment section, or type "I can hear you," so I get to know that we are all together and we are all on board. So I'll be waiting. Hello, Exams Erudite Crest College. You're welcome to today's session. You're welcome. So I'm still waiting for the comment section. Please just type "I can hear you." Let me know we are both on the same page. So while I continue. So today I have amazing guests with us here in today's session, and you know the way we do it, we do not waste much of our time. We dive right into it. We know we are very busy, but definitely we have to get value for our time. So today we have amazing guests, and I'm super excited. And today we are going to be discussing a specific topic titled "The New Normal: Reimagining Education for a digital future, the new normal, reimagining education for a digital future. All right, I can hear you. Exams, I can hear you, Teosi. Teosi, you're welcome. You're welcome. So, like I was saying, and definitely for today's topic, we are going to be getting amazing insights from our expert. And with me in the building, I have Dr. Ayobami El Suberu. It's so nice to have you, sir. And we have Dr. Oluwakemi Olunrinola. Without wasting much of our time, let us bring them on board. Hello, Dr. Ayobami. Hello, Dr. Oluwakemi.
Good evening. It's nice to be here.
Hello,
Good
all.
evening, sir. Good evening, ma'am. You're welcome. Thank you so much for joining us because I understand how busy your schedule is. So thank you so much. So without wasting much of our time, let me introduce. Dr. Ayobami El Suberu is the YX State Controller, and Dr. Oluwakemi Oluriola, she is the CEO of Expitech Education Technologies. You're welcome today. You're welcome on board. Without wasting much of our time, so we are diving right into it. So, Dr. Ayobami, please can you introduce yourself briefly?
All right. Thank you, Queensley. It's good to be here this evening. My name is Dr. Ayobami Subiru. I work with the West African Examinations Council here in Ogun State, and currently I'm the branch controller.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. So, Dr. Oluwakemi, please can you introduce yourself, ma'am?
Yeah, good evening, everyone, and thank you for having me on your session today. And so, like she said, my name is Oluwakemi Oluriola. I am an educational technologist. I work with the Labisi Obasanjo University, and I also run an edtech firm, XP Tech Education Technologies, where we do consulting for the best practice in integrating technology into the teaching and learning process. So, thank you.
Thank you so much. So, without wasting much of our time, we are going to be having our first session, which is going to be handled by Dr. Ayobami Suberu. So, Dr. Ayobami, sir, please over to you. Like we said, we are going to be eating the new right on the spot. So, over to you, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. The session I'll be handling is going to talk about the shift to CBT, what schools need to know. And I will be talking not as WIC branch controller now, but as an education administrator, so that we all should not misconstrue whatever I say to be the policy of the council. I'm aware a lot of people are eager to know what council has in stock for schools. So I won't really talk much about that. I'll leave the policymakers to come and do that when it's time for them to talk about it. But then we'll be looking at what schools need to know, and I have two key words or two key terms that we want us to look at. The first is education assessment, while the second one is the term CBT. So what is education assessment, educational assessment? And that's the process of evaluating as well as measuring the knowledge, skill set, attitude, and performance that the student has garnered over a period of time. So it could come in various forms. It could be in form of tests. It could be in form of projects. It could be presentations. But then, the main purpose of education assessment is to, first of all, assess whether students have acquired the intended knowledge and skills, and thereby providing feedback to educators so that they can reassess their teaching strategies and curriculum to know if they are getting the desired results. Of course, it will also help students to understand their progress, the progress they are making, and the areas where they need to improve upon. And ultimately, they're going to get certification at the end of it. So that's the first key term that I want us to look at. And then next, I want us to look at computer-based testing. What is computer-based testing? That's the use of computers to administer assessments and evaluations. That's basically what it is. And that's what the federal government has now said, that for secondary schools, we should be looking at a shift starting from 2027. And what are the benefits that we're going to get from computer-based testing? Number one, is going to guarantee us efficiency in terms of quick scoring and immediate feedback. Of course, the flexibility is there. It allows tests to be taken at various times in various locations. There's also the option of variety of question types, whether you want it to be multiple choice questions, or you want it to be essay questions, or even interactive questions. Then the adaptive testing benefit allows candidates to be able to take tests based on the level of difficulty, and then their ability to adjust to the level of difficulty of the questions. And we could also use it at the end of it all. You'll be able to analyze the performance and trends in responses. You'll be able to determine how many people were able to finish the questions in it much earlier than others, and be able to now look at the quality of your test items. Maybe it's too cheap. That's why they are able to finish in good time. Okay, now this transition, most importantly, will enhance the integrity of exams. It will reduce leakages. I should even say it will eliminate leakages and foreknowledge. It will eliminate malpractice in all forms. Because for us in the Exams Council, we've already tested this using the WAS for Private Candidates first series as a trial. That was in 2024. And in particular, I'm always happy to say that in Ogun State, in that year 2024, we recorded 0% in examination malpractice. So basically, when you move towards computer-based testing, the approach will definitely guarantee the integrity of your test papers and the certificates that you're going to issue out. So as the federal government in Nigeria makes a strong push for its immediate approach, immediate adoption, I think it's necessary that we all should understand how to prepare for this shift. And I'll go on to say that this is what we need to know. I've already talked about CBT, what CBT is. So Why do we have to shift to CBT? As I said, all these I've already enumerated. It helps to combat malpractice, thereby giving you more credible results. It guarantees the efficiency of your workforce. It reduces the workload of teachers, the time they have to spend on printing question papers and all the rest like that. Ultimately, it's going to save costs. It's going to save costs. It's going to save time. Where you resort to electronic marking, it will improve accuracy of the marking. It's by eliminating human errors that are made in the course of marking. Because I need to also say that part of CBT is not just to deliver the test electronically, but to also allow that the tests are marked electronically. Here, we're in the digital age, so students, learners will just have to familiarize themselves with computers usage and thereby acquiring the skill set needed to compete favorably in today's digital age or era. And so what are the challenges that schools will face? What challenges are schools going to face? Your guess is as good as mine. We're going to start from infrastructure. There's a gap in the infrastructure that is required. There's a very large gap. Many schools, they lack computers, not just in the rural areas, even in urban centers. Many schools lack computers that will be required to deliver CB tests. And everybody is now eager to know what do they need to put in place. People who latched upon the opportunity created by the introduction of CBT by JAMB are now smiling. They already saw the future and they are already well equipped. So schools will have to battle with that problem. Of course, you also have the problem of unreliable power supply, which is a major requirement to run CB testing. So there will be need for backup power in the face of a poor public power supply, such as generators and inverters. You also have to face the problem of internet connectivity. Of course, it's not 100% compulsory that CBT systems should work online. There are some CBT systems that can work offline, like the one that WAEC has developed for the use of schools is going to be working offline. But notwithstanding, you still require reliable internet network for updates. You need internet network for download of data. That is to download the test items and then upload the responses at the end of the exam. The next challenge we will also look at is that of digital literacy. What is the level of student preparedness? How many students have prior exposure to the use of computers? And so because a lot of students or learners don't have exposure to computers, there may be increased anxiety on their parts when they face the test items online on the systems, and this may lead to potentially lead to lower performances that they could do better than. And then the teachers, the educators. How many educators have ICT proficiency? So this is the time for us to be looking at how our teachers have to be trained, not only on how to use the CBT systems, but also how to prepare their candidates in advance for these computer-based testing and assessments, as well as the use of digital tools in the teaching process. So going further, let me also say that costs will be very important when we talk about costs of financing. That is, schools that lack computers, that lack the required computers, how will they be able to get money to provide these computers, the hardware, the software? How will they come up with reliable power supply as well as internet? Because some of these things, the costs are on the high side and could be a burden for the owners. Of course, we should also talk about cyber security. How do we secure our systems in the face of cyber crime? People who are prowling the internet to hack into our systems to gain unauthorized access and be able to get the test items. Because if it is going to eliminate malpractice, they are used to pen and paper, used to question papers flying about. They too will start thinking, how are they going to access these test items that will be delivered to the candidates? How will they get prior knowledge? And this, they will be thinking of how to act. So cybersecurity will also be one very important area that we must invest upon, that will be a challenge to us. Yes, we also talk about technical support, and there's the need for schools to get skilled IT personnel on standby for troubleshooting and maintenance. We've all seen what has happened during UTME tests, where candidates will just find themselves stranded and ultimately lead to their poor performance. And then we should also be thinking on our curriculum adaptation, on our pedagogy, what is going to happen. Even though the content will remain the same, what will be the formats? What will be the formats to deliver the content to our learners? Do we have all that it takes? So those are the challenges that we just have to start provoking our thinking on how we are going to overcome it. But then, what do we need to do to prepare? First and foremost, we need to look at our infrastructures. We need to start to acquire computers gradually so that in a very short time, we would have the number required for the number of learners we have in our school and be able to set up our own CBT center in our various schools. Of course, we have to ensure adequate power supply. We can't just rely only on public power supply. We have to invest, as I said earlier, in very clean energy sources. We are not even talking about generators now. We need to harness solar energy with inverters so that we can have very reliable power supply. We also need to establish very stable local area network for internal operations, like the CBT that WAEC carries out uses local area network so that the systems will be connected together using thin clients, and then with the central server, test items can be delivered to individual candidates where they are on their monitors, and then they will be able to take their tests. Of course, there will always be need to ensure that the internet connectivity is stable so that there are no disruptions in the tests. Yes, you would need to choose a very good CBT software that you're going to need. And then in choosing the CBT software, you should make sure that the CBT software have features that are user friendly for the candidates and the administrators. You have to talk about the timer. You have to talk about the support that comes with the use of these softwares that you have chosen for your schools. And then in practicing, in getting ready, there are a lot of digital assessment tools online that we can make use of. We could make use of Kahoot, Socrative, Quizlet, Edpuzzle, and so on, so that it doesn't have to be on the day of the exam before candidates will now get familiar with the environment. We will also have to do a lot of training and capacity building for our teachers. We have to do a lot of training and capacity building for them so that they'll be able to operate the CBT in our schools effortlessly. They'll be able to create their test items and upload it, monitor the exams, analyze the results. For the candidates, they need to familiarize themselves with the environment. There's a need for regular practice sessions by conducting mock CBT exams so that they get comfortable with the interface, with the timing, with the way the questions are delivered. And before they will be able to do that, of course, you should also have made them to go through basic computer literacy classes, how to use the mouse, their keyboard cues, how to navigate various computer environments. You need to address their anxieties and reassure them that it is nothing extraordinary, it is nothing strange. It's something they can do on their own that they can cope with, so that they'll be able to weather the storms effectively. And then on the side of the administrators, there should be policy and planning. Now is the time for us to develop a transition plan, so that, because for even the private candidate exam starting from 2025 that we are, there will no longer be pen and paper tests in Nigeria any longer. So there's the need for schools now to develop a transition plan. They have to start thinking. They have to think of funding. How do they acquire the hardware, the software? How do they train? They have to. All this must start to come to play now. And then collaborate with stakeholders, engage parents, so that parents will also know that, yes, the schools are getting set, and then on their own too, what they should be doing at home. Of course, collaborate with technology providers to ensure a smooth transition and address potential challenges. And that's where EduTerms comes in. All that EduTerms are doing now, this is when schools will now realize the need for them to, okay, sorry, let me not be like I'm promoting EduTerms. I'm just talking about EduTerms just as a body that, a technology provider. So let me keep quiet there. And then security and maintenance. There must be secure testing environments in our CBT centers. We should ensure that we put in place secure browsers. I recall when we introduced the CBT in 2024, I saw a lot of young guys who thought what they were doing in the other side, they could also bring it to our testing environments. But then they were disappointed. So secure browsers, they are very, very important. Browsers that cannot be penetrated, that have various layers of security. And then the monitoring tools that you need, the use of closed circuit television to monitor candidates. And just today, I even saw that in China they were using drones inside the examination hall to monitor candidates in the course of exams. And of course, proctoring, that is the personnel that will serve as proctors that will be with the candidates to ensure that they do the right thing. All this we must start thinking of how to address. We must also have established a routine for maintaining our computer hardware so that there won't be technical glitches during the exam. And then the data have to be backed up. And conclusively, in conclusion, it's not just about saying that we want to adopt technology. We should know that it's something that requires careful planning, so that whatever investment that we are making into providing CBT environment in our various schools doesn't waste. Anything that you don't plan well, no matter how much you commit into it in form of investment, you may not get the desired results. And then a commitment to digital literacy for all members of the school community. So by proactively addressing all these aspects that we mentioned, schools can successfully navigate the transition and reap the long-term benefits of computer-based testing, because that's the way to go. That's just the way to go. And we look forward to seeing what the future will bring out. But of course, I also know that very soon everybody would come out to say, oh, if we had known, we should have adopted this long time ago. So thank you. I will just end my presentation at that point by saying that thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Doctor, sir. It's so nice to hear from you. And you've heard from Doctor. He has said that we should start getting ready to shift, because by next year, there will be no pen and paper examinations. And I hope you wrote sorry, I hope you wrote a lot, because I was just on my I was just with my pen and my jotter writing. I had a lot of points, but without wasting much of our time, sir, thank you very much, sir. We have so many questions for you already in the comment section, so our viewers are excited. They have some questions for you, and we'll take that in the question and answer session. But without wasting much of our time too, so Doctor, you are still with us, because our viewers, they have a lot to speak with you. So without wasting much of our time, also, we're also going to be bringing in Dr. Oluwakemi Olumiola, the CEO of Esquitech Technology, and also a lecturer in Olabisi Onabanjo University. And she's going to be speaking to us about blended learning and edtech adoption. Dr. Ma, you have the floor, ma.
All right. Good evening, everyone. And that was a good one by Dr. Suberu. It's good to see that we are thinking futuristic and we are planning to join the digital train. And so, not to take so much time, I have one assignment, and that is the blended learning. Sorry, that's the wrong one. Let me share from here. Sorry, I think I uploaded the wrong one. Yes, because I edited that. So I'll present. I think I can manage from here.
Okay.
Yes. I have another screen I'm working with, so I can monitor.
Okay. Is it this?
Can you see my screen now?
Not yet. Is it this, ma'am?
Yes. No.
Yes,
that's not my first page. That's not what I'm sharing. I guess maybe that's the uploaded one. Yes, this is what I'm sharing.
Okay.
All right. Cancel. Let me start from the just. Okay. All right. So I'm talking about quickly. We're talking about blended learning and edtech adoption in education. We've heard
Sorry,
from the.
ma. Sorry, ma. Please, can you make this? Can you make the screen bigger
I
so
have.
we can see?
I think there's a lag.
Please. Okay.
I will do it again. I'll take it again. So sorry. You scare my screen so that I have everything in present. Share screen. Is that better now?
Yet, not yet. Let me just do this.
Okay. It's still showing. It's still not showing the full screen.
Yes, it's not.
Oh. Anyway, maybe I should work with the other one, but I've done some editing on this one. I think I uploaded it. Okay, I would just. It's technology. We'll find a way. So,
Definitely.
oh, I should have checked this. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, I did that. I did that. Anyway, I'm talking about blended learning and edtech adoption in technology, and so I wouldn't want to take so much time. I would just I really don't know why it's not sharing the full screen, even though that's what I'm clicking on. But I wouldn't let that hinder us, and we'll just move on as it is, and hopefully. So blended learning and edtech adoption. We've heard from the previous speaker and how our exams are going to be moving on to um, our exams are going to be moving on to the digital space. And so there's a need for us to begin to integrate this technology. Talked about students practicing so that their first connect with the technology would be at the exam timetable, I mean, at the exam time. And so it's necessary for us to look at how within the different scope and settings we are at, how we could implement this blended learning into our system, our education system or the teaching and learning system. So we have blended learning. Basically, when we talk about blended learning, we're basically talking about um, uh, um, I'm sorry about this, but I guess I have to do this. When we talk about blended learning, we're basically talking about a learning that combines face-to-face with online learning experience. And then when we talk about edtech, of course, we're familiar with these concepts. We're talking about technology tools and platforms that enhance teaching and learning. So when we talk about blended learning and edtech, we want to look at how these technology tools and platform can enhance the combination of online learning experiences with the face-to-face integration. So we are looking at how we can juxtapose that, how we take the best practices from one and implement with the other one while not throwing one away for the other. Even though our exams are going to become computer based, there's still the need for the face to face traditional interactions and the one on one human support. So, whatever it is we're doing with EdTech, there has to be the human face to it, there has to be the human aspect of it if you want to effectively reach our students. Once again, I'm apologizing for sharing this way. Somehow the uh, system and the StreamYard is refusing to show full screen. And so not to take our time. So now we've talked about blended learning. We said that blended learning is the face-to-face engagement, while we also have the online learning experience. Blended learning, like we said, combines the best of both worlds, where you have the structured direct instruction, and then you have the flexibility and of the online resources, and then of course the access to diverse online digital content. That's where the hybrid approach is. And normally, um, um, it is student centered in the sense that blended learning empowers students to shift from being recipients of knowledge to actually have active participation in the acquisition of knowledge, and helps them with all their learning agency, helps them with self-direction, and all these are the kinds of shifts that we expect even as we go into the digital future, especially where education is concerned. We have to empower students to be able to own their own learning, have self-regulation with learning, and these are some of the things that blended learning focuses on. It's really student-centered, allowing for individualized learning, where you allow for flexible interactions at your own pace, at your own time. Personalized learning that is tailored, especially now with AI, that is tailored to the experiences of each student's pace, tailored to the experience of each student's need. So it's a departure from the one-size-fits-all model that the traditional classroom would normally have. And then, of course, we have diverse models. We have for blended learning, you have the rotation model, you have the flex model. We'll be talking about that a little bit more going forward. And we have, of course, what we call the enriched virtual model. And what are the key drivers to blended learning? Why should we bother even having this discussion about blended learning? Why do we need at this point in time to really begin to consider blending the learning for our students, integrating technology with the traditional classroom setting? First and foremost, the development of 21st century skills. We want to prepare our students for the future, for the workforce demands. And we know that even in the present day workshop, there are a lot of digital integration in the workplaces right now. And so our students need to develop those skills. And while we are blending their learning, permit me to continue to use that word terminology as in this case scenario, we are also introducing to them, beyond the subjects that they are being taught, we're introducing to them the skills, 21st century skills that are needed for today's workforce. And then, of course, the flexibility, it empowers learners to learn at their own pace. It empowers learners to learn at their own path. And also, we can see that this blended learning especially was really embraced, yes, let me use or adopted, especially post COVID. During the pandemic, a lot of schools, a lot of institutions began to take their students online. And post COVID, when we all came back into the classroom, a lot of schools kept that online presence also and found a way to kind of merge both of them. And that, we saw an increase in the use of blended learning approaches, even in most schools, especially in the higher educations and some of the secondary schools as well. But you could also see that it also reduces cost, the traditional overhead cost and, resources that we normally would have high budgets for. We can also, it also helps in reducing that cost. So those are the key drivers. And of course, there are benefits of the blended learning approach, even in the classroom. There are benefits of the blended learning approach in the classroom. We have things like increased engagement, where we've said it, that the students are no more passive recipients, but they begin to interact with the resources, they begin to interact with the softwares and the online environment, and that increased engagement allows for a better understanding, comprehension, and eventually better learning outcomes when it is properly done. We've talked about personalized learning, where contents can be tailored to meet individual needs, and of course, improved access. So one of the things that this digital online spaces, digital resources has helped us with, especially in this time, is that even students who are in remote places or in underserved areas have access to quality resources, quality materials, quality content, educational content, because the divide is beginning to close up, when everything was basically physical. You are reliant on only what the school resources the school had in their library and all that. But with the introduction of digital resources and digital learning spaces, you've seen education being democratized, and even students or people from underserved areas have access to quality education, quality resources. And of course, we talked about differentiated instruction, where these technologies actually support different learners where they are meeting them at their needs and their stages of ability. And so these are some of the benefits that accrue when we actually do blend learning in our classrooms. Like we said there are different models of blended learning, different blended learning models. Um, I'll be talking about four basic ones. We have the rotational model, and even under the rotational model, we do have different kinds. Where you have station rotation, where you have lab rotation, or you have individual rotations. And so, basically, what the rotation model is about, and this really serves where you have limited resources, like in classrooms where we have the station model, which is still under the rotation model. You could have a table with maybe 2 or 3 devices. The idea is that at least at one point in time, the students actually do have access to those devices and are able to, do some digital work or connect to some digital resources and all that, where the whole class at a time cannot access, where you have limited, like I said, technology. So you could have a corner of the classroom where you have a few devices, and you structure the activities in a way that while some are doing offline activities, another group will be doing online activities, and you can have that rotated. And so we call that the station rotation. And so the lab rotation for schools who have maybe a little bit more technology infrastructure, and a lot of schools will boast about having computer laboratories. And so, like, you have your timetabling where you have the maths, English. I know you have the time in the week where the teachers come in to take the students. You could also have that kind of timetabling where, for instance, the maths teacher may do what he has to do in the classroom, introducing the topic, introducing the content, and then fix a time for lab use, where the students now will be having maths in the computer lab and be engaging with tools or softwares that are designed for the that are designed for teaching mathematics or helping them understand the concept better, and that cuts across subjects. So that's lab rotation. We're still talking about the rotational model. And then you have the individual rotation where it may be one-on-one support with the teacher and the students and all that. So depending on what the infrastructure is, every child can at least have access to the computer maybe once a week, twice a week, or even if once a term, but they are not shut out because you say you don't have technology infrastructure, you don't have too many tech devices in the classroom. So there's that way. Then the flex model, basically, now you have online, the flex model for the blended learning. Online is the primary, the online learning is the primary thing. So you go online and learn. And then if you need support, you can book a one-on-one support. So you like all these online courses and all that, you still have the instructors there, and you could book an online support with an instructor who I'll fix a FaceTime, to ask questions, get yourself unstuck in areas that you're stuck in and all that. So you still have that FaceTime, but basically you have the online learning. Then for the enriched virtual, so this course is fully online for the enriched virtual. But you require face-to-face sessions. Like you have all these online universities that have, I think, tutorial centers and all that. So after they've had their classes, they still have to come together to meet with their instructor, so there's that FaceTime while most of the content is still online. So you have that called enriched virtual. All these are blended learning models. And then you have the one we call the a la carte model. And so the a la carte model, basically, maybe I'm taking a particular course, and because of the limitations I have with the resources I have in the school, my students have to take some courses online to augment what it is that we're doing in the classroom. Or I invite them to meet a particular expert who takes them online, a particular topic or course, and then, just selecting courses that are relevant to what you're doing online as a side, but then you're also having the main traditional classrooms. And so that's a bit unstructured, but that is what we have for the a la carte kind of blended learning model. So as we can see, there are various types of blended learning models. Even the rotational model has some other sub models underneath. But I think as an institution or as a school, we can actually find ourselves in any of this model. And if we want to prepare our students digitally for the future, like the previous speaker has said, knowing that this is where we are going to and there's no turning back, then I think it's about time that we began to think about, okay, what model will work best for us? And with the limited resources or infrastructure that we have, how can we still, even if it's once in a week, twice in a week, ensure that students engage with the use of technology to prepare them for their tomorrow? And so these are parts of the model. And of course, we have edtech tools. So this is where the merger comes in, where we have the edtech tools that drive the blended learning. You have things like the learning management systems. Learning management systems are basically centralized platforms for course contents. Then you have the video conferencing applications. A lot of us are used to that. One of the things we are doing right now is actually using that video conferencing through the StreamYard and all that. And then you have the AI-based learning. And so whether you like it or not, AI has come, AI is improving. There are a lot of edtech tools that are supporting students' learning, supporting teacher instruction, using AI applications. And you also have simulation platforms. So even those who are teaching sciences are not left out with this edtech blend, enabled blended learning approaches. We have simulation platforms. You have virtual laboratories. You have virtual labs. You have virtual simulations that teach science subjects, help your students to do some experiments on their own. And there are quite a lot out there. One of the ones that I put as an example, which is PhET, is because it's also very free for teachers, and it has chemistry, physics, maths, biology, and a lot of other simulations out there that you can use to augment your science teaching. So, because sometimes when we talk about technology integration, we think that it's only about other for other subject teachers and not for science teachers and math teachers, but you have your own edtech tools also. And so still on the fact that edtech actually is the engine behind blended learning, the learning management system like Canvas, like Moodle, like Blackboard, for your content delivery, assignment submission, grade management, and all that are very important in having a successful blended environment. Communication platforms, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, and of course, interactive tools, and most especially the adaptive learning platforms. You have things like Khan Academy, you have things like Duolingo. They work with you to identify the student's need and recommend, targeted support, identify areas for improvement and all that. So those are the way that edtech actually drives, engines, the engine of blended learning. And yeah, we definitely do have barriers. We're promoting this, but we are not ignorant of the barriers. Things like infrastructure limitations, like our earlier speaker had said. Then teacher readiness is also very important. When you have limited digital literacy or training, then it may be difficult for you to have effective blending, effective blended learning, rather, in integration in the classroom. Then resistance to change. One of the things you also find, teachers don't want to move. They don't want to shift. They are comfortable with how they've been doing it in the previous years. All through the years, I've been teaching for 32 years, I've been teaching for 30 years, and I've been teaching for 15 years. So there's that resistance to change. That's one of the major barriers also to adoption of a blended learning, and of course, the policy gaps. And we also have beyond some other challenges also where blended learning is concerned. Things like digital equity, where you have some students who lack even these resources at home. And if you don't have them in school, you don't have them at home, then that causes a disparity in the blended learning opportunities. We also have the issue of teacher training. We need more support, teacher training supports for effective integration of edtech into the pedagogical practices. And another thing to consider is the content quality. So you have the availability of high quality content. They're not just high quality, but are relevant and culturally responsive to our setting. So curating this content sometimes may be a challenge, especially ensuring they align with the curriculum goals, because this is essential if you want to have effective blended learning, even in the classroom. And so we need professional development, ongoing training for teachers. We need institutional support from the administrators themselves, and ensuring that no learner is left behind in this process. So you have to look for the model that works for you. And definitely ongoing monitoring is also very key. How do you ensure that you monitor what is going on and the impact that it's having even in the classroom? So you're not just integrating technology for technology's sake. And finally, looking ahead, what is future-ready education, especially where blended learning is concerned? We're thinking about innovation. How do we continually develop new tools that suits us, made for us, by us, and for us? How do we ensure collaboration between educators, between edtech partners or edtech developers and the policymakers? And so edtech developers are not creating solutions in silo, but they're working hand in hand with the educators who are the users and the students to develop these applications. How do we ensure that what we are building is adaptable to our educational system and it's resilient? And finally, how do we, while thinking or living locally, think globally, ensuring that our solutions do not only meet the needs of our students within our cultural context, but can also be adapted on a global scale? So basically, we need to be look ahead and ensure that we are future ready, even with our educational system. So thank you for having me on this afternoon. I will be stopping here for time's sake.
All right, thank you very much, Ma, for this amazing session. Thank you so much. I think one thing I kept at the forefront was ensuring no learner is left behind. We should all try to find a model that suits us. Thank you very much, Dr. Oluwakemi. We also have questions already set for you in the comment section. We'll be taking that soon. But briefly, before we take the question, we have to quickly go on a very quick, short break. Please just stay with me.
And appoint level advisors. Students can register for the all-in-one school and learning. Welcome to EduTime Pro, the all-in-one school and learning management portal designed for tertiary institutions, universities, polytechnics, and colleges. EduTime Pro delivers a seamless digital transformation of students' experiences from admission to graduation, while empowering academic and administrative staff with tools to improve productivity and streamline teaching and learning. The platform is designed on an intuitive single login interface for all users, staff, and students, secured with role-based permissions and a two-factor authentication system for privacy. Personalized dashboards provide direct access to authorized modules, ensuring a smooth user experience. The admin dashboard acts as a centralized hub for real-time insights and quick navigation. Admins can track student and staff enrollments, daily, weekly, and yearly revenue with financial projections, and student performance analytics for data-driven decision-making. Quick links ensure seamless access to key modules like admissions, bursary, and registry. For admission officers, EduTime Pro offers flexible tools to create admission batches, customize application forms, and set fees for early or late applications. Define separate admissions for undergraduate, postgraduate, or MD and HND programs. For applicants, the platform allows them to select a program of choice, submit applications, and pay fees online, print forms for records, and receive real-time notifications on admission status. Admission officers can review applications, send decision notifications, and configure automatic matric number generation based on the school's templates. The system ensures a smooth and transparent admission process with real-time analytics for stakeholders. The bursary model simplifies fee management and financial reporting. Bursary staff can define payment aids, school fees, acceptance fees, and more, and set installment options, e.g. 50/50 or 70/30. Students can view outstanding fees, select payment plans, and make payments with ease. Upon payment, students receive instant receipts, while bursary staff gain access to real-time financial reports for informed decision-making and account reconciliation. The academic planning module enables schools to define curricula, courses, grading systems, and course status for each program. This ensures academic structures meet accreditation requirements while supporting efficient course registration and results processing. One module streamlines course registration for all stakeholders. HODs can allocate courses and appoint level advisors. Students can register for approved courses within unit limits and print verified course forms. Level advisors can review and approve registrations, ensuring academic compliance. HODs gain access to registered class lists for effective student and course management. EduTime Pro digitizes results processing for accuracy and efficiency. Lecturers upload scores and the system automatically grades them based on set standards. Results move seamlessly through approval levels from HODs to deans or directors and academic board. Once approved, students gain real-time access to view results and request transcripts from their dashboard. This streamlined process ensures reliable academic records and supports graduation clearance. Simplifying staff profiling and appointment processes, enabling institutions to assign roles and permissions for key stakeholders like deans and heads of departments. So, provides other extensible models like the registry model for staff profile with customizable functionalities for managing appointments that grant different levels of roles and permissions. Hostel management that offer the platform for managing allocation of bed spaces to registered students, among others. Editans Pro is your trusted partner in efficient school management, streamlining school processes, providing digital infrastructure for optimizing staff productivity with integrated payment system for fees management in schools. Visit www.edutans.net to learn more and request a demo today.
From our quick short break, you're welcome once again. So, without wasting much of our time, we apologize because our time is fast. Our time is fast spent, but definitely we are going to be taking the question and answer session. So, without wasting much of our time, I have one other very important person that we have to bring on board. Um, is Mr. Adegboyega Tayo, the customer relationship manager of Edutans, and he also has very, very key important things to notify us of. Hello, Adegboyega.
Hi, Quincy.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, sir. Please, you have the floor in few more minutes, sir.
All right, and thank you, everyone. Thank you, the viewer and the audience. My name is Tara Adibega, just like Quincy right, said earlier, and I will be speaking on just the data-driven learning. So when we talk about data-driven learning, we should understand that data-driven learning is reshaping how education is delivered, measured, and improved. So I'm not going to be speaking on the theoretical part. I'm also going to be sharing my screen so that we can understand what I'm trying to say. 1 minute, please. So can you please see my screen? Okay, so I'm going to be speaking times regarding EduTime. So one of the platforms that you can adopt as we are shifting from the new normal is in the EduTime platform that you can also adopt. And I believe everyone can see my screen. And so from the editors platform, as a subject teacher or as a teacher, when you log in as a teacher, because editor platform is all in one solution, and in this context, I'm just going to be limiting myself to the shifting to the new normal. So when you log in, it's not a portlet solution whereby you have to have separate login URL for attendance, have another separate URL for digital class, have another separate URL for CBT or assessment in general on learning. So it's all in one solution that is support from the point of admission to the point of graduation, all in one solution. So in this context, I'm just going to be limiting myself. And one of the important things that Edutans platform also support is data insight that we also provide for schools. That as a teacher, you'll be able to know when you set a formative question assessment for learners, and you'll be able to know number of learners that a number of questions that you have set in the term in the session, and you'll be able to know. Another thing that is very important is that apart from setting question, I think doctors should be able to talk about the timing. So Editors platform also support the timing that you'll be able to you want to make sure you want to evaluate the students based on the learner, based on the time that maybe you want to give the learner 100 questions and you want to give okay, maybe it's 30 minutes or thereabouts. So Editors platform also support that. And don't let us forget that we are talking about the data driven learning, which is how the learning is being measured and how the learning can also be improved upon. So as a teacher, whenever you have set, Azure platform support that whenever you have set the question as a teacher, then the Azure platform provide the analysis that you'll be able to have the name of the name of the quiz or the CBT that you have set, and the category. You'll be able to view different category of students, because we also understand that we have different categories of students that you'll be able to view. Then on that, you also be able to view the number of questions that you have set as a teacher, Then there's also this statistic that is providing that the moment you set, you'll also be able to view that, okay, how many learners are in the class, which is we call the participants, and how many has actually participated in the quiz. Then you'll be able, or in the CBC or in the assessment, you'll be able to view that is in a real time. Then because you have enabled reports, you also be able to view that, okay, so when even learners submit, they will be able to see their report instantly in a real time. So one of the, because of our time has be fast spent, I'm just going to be showing us. So on the Editors platform, there's an action button in front. Then you can also view the or print reports, which also support decision making for learners and for the students, for the teachers, and for the learners. It also assists the teachers, like, okay, if I'm using one method, one strategy, then I also need to, like, okay, maybe if the learners are not doing well, then I also need to like switch to another strategy. So like Dr. Olumiola mentioned, blended learning. So on this now, on the report, then you'll be able to like view the assessment score, the student score, the total number of questions, and the time. Even you also be able to view the time used, time started, and the time. And even on the real time, you also be able to view the analysis. So if you are even a school, that whether your school, irrespective of your location or your population, you can adopt Edutans platform. And Dr. Suberu mentioned this infrastructure cost. And on that platform, you don't have to like set up a big thing, because the platform support any digital, any device that is network enabled, any device, either smartphone, either that's network enabled, either system, either your phone, tablet, it supports that. So apart from viewing this, then you also be able to drill down to the, like, you want to know the bachelor view of the learner performance. Then you'll be able to view. So if the learners are actually doing well, as a teacher, then you'll be able to know that, okay, these are the learners that are doing well, these are the learners that are not doing well, based on the analysis that the portal is providing for you. Then you'll be able to know if the teacher himself or herself is doing well. Then the teacher can also say, okay, let me change my strategy. Let me do for another type of learning. Let me teaching. Let me add this. Let me add that to it. Then you can also even advise the learner. And for the learner part, the learner also can also be like, if a learner should log in, the learner also can also have access to the various assessment that the learner on this, the learner part. So the learner will also have access to the various assessment that is available for him. So for this now, there will be status. The one that is showing new means that these are the one the learner are yet to be done, and the one that is showing attempted means the one that the learner has done. So as the learner, you also have access to that, and the one that has been attempted, you can also view your score based on what the teacher says. And as a learner, the moment you submit, it's going to be congratulating you that you have submitted. Then you can view, and you can even rate the assessment if the assessment is in line with what the teacher has actually taught you. So Editors platform provides all this data driven for decision making. So it also this assists both ways, both the teachers and the learner. Assists the teachers and like changing, knowing how the performance of the learners, and the learner also can like, okay, be able to improve on their own. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Adeboyega. Thank you so much for even being very fast and showing us that edutams can actually help us to shift into the new normal, which is transitioning into CBT fully and transitioning fully into blended learning using edtech tools, using personalized learning. And so without wasting much of our time, we have our questions already in the comment section. And thank you so much also, Dr. Oluwakemi, for still staying. I know how what this is taken from you. Thank you so much. And also, Dr. Ayobami. So we are going to be taking the questions together in just 5 more minutes, then we wrap up. So I'm going to start with the first question. I think this first question should be directed to Dr. Ayobami. So let me just put that up quickly. Okay. So this question is by Exams Erudite Crest College. It says, we are aware the WAEC exams takes up to 46 days and above. How will CBT eliminate this?
Okay, Queensley, thank you. And thank you, Erudite Crest College. I'm not going to talk about WAEC now at the moment.
Okay.
I'm not going to talk about modalities are being fashioned on how the exams will be conducted. It's it's going to be flexible. The way it will be conducted is going to guarantee flexibility. That's all I can say for now.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Thank you very much. So, the next question here says, sir, how can students attempt the essay questions in mathematics and multiple choice? I think this should be targeted to Mr. Adegboyega.
All right, thank you quickly, and thank you for Mr. Kayode Francis. So on Editors platform, that can be done easily and seamlessly in a seamless manner and without any having any cost for regret. So once the school adopt Editors platform, so that is easy, and there's always people that always support if the school is having one challenge or the other, because we understand that adopting technology also come with its own challenge at the initial stage. So that is very easy and easier done. Thank you.
Okay, so I think I got a question saying, how do we get the soft copy of the lectures? So I'm going to beg our facilitators to please give us the soft copies and we will get them straight across to you. So if you think we do not have your email address, you can just drop them in the comment section right now. My team will pick it up, then we will send the soft copies to you so you can get them. So I think this next question also is to, it has been answered also by Mr. Tayo. So um, for now, I'm going to be asking us to just close out, round up. Okay, please, I apologize.
Sorry,
One
please, can I say
second.
something before you round up?
All right,
Yeah,
ma'am.
because I know we do have edutans and all that, but like I said, no child left behind. And at whatever level
Yes.
of school the teachers who are listening to are, there's still what you can do to help your students, whether you're teaching maths or English. There are free resources out there, um, maths practice, English practice softwares. So
Yes.
they're all out there, and you could go in search what kind. As a matter of fact, even just type in the question there and you Google it out, you find some of those softwares. Look for what suits your class, suits your age
Yes.
grade, and you could begin with that. And so there's no one size fits all where technology is concerned, and there's no one size fits all where an application is concerned. Your application choice or your software choice has to be aligned with your curriculum goals. And that's the only way you will ensure that you have effective integration. So, depending on where you're calling in from, who is asking the question, what grade are you teaching, what kind of content are you looking for, what level of interaction and engagement are you hoping for, you have all those parameters set out, and then you begin to look and then you find something that you can adopt or adapt uh, depending on your the infrastructure that you have.
You
And
have.
I just want to also put this thing out here also. When you use technology softwares to teach maths, even essays, like you were working on the hard paper, you would have the rubrics for the steps that you want to scale in. And so you would need to also have that rubric uh, fed. There's no into the system or whatever it is. So that's the same way. And multiple choice questions, you have free applications that you could also use for MCQs and get immediate feedback and all that. And so whatever level you are, there's something out there for you. And I just want to put that out here.
All right, ma. Thank you very much. So you get that. I think for me, the mantra here is no learner should be left behind. So we should all try to find a model that suits each of our learners. So I know, doctor, you need to leave. So firstly, I will need you to give us a roundup. That's Dr. Oluwakemi, and also you tell us what you think we need to learn, like as a closing, and also give us the best way, like if other persons want to reach out to you, how they can get to reach out to you and your company, ma'am.
So we are talking about the future, imagining education for a digital future. And in one of the speech I gave recently, I said we should not digitize the old, but we use technology to imagine the new. And I believe that is the way that even work is going right now. And hopefully that's it will just be a replacement of what they do paper-based, but there will be other innovative engagements for the students, especially with AI analytics and all that. So we need to reimagine the new and use digital technologies in an innovative way, not just a substitution, but to reimagine and to transform our educational practices. And so to find a guest, if you just browse my name, Oluwakemi Oluriola, you'll find my social media handles, and you could feel free to reach out to me or reach out to Editams Queensley, who the host of this event, and I'm sure that she would be able to connect us together.
All right. Thank you very much, Mal. Thank you so much, so much. Also, Dr. Ayobami, briefly, can you give us a roundup, a summation before we leave?
Okay, thank you, Queensley. It's been a very interesting session, but by and large, is how I'm just concerned about the integrity of our exams, and having in mind now that the federal government knows that this is the only way to go. It gives me so much joy that in years to come, we'll be able to beat our chest and say people who carry our certificates are worth the certificates that they carry. And that's a wake-up call to schools. They need to really do a lot of introspection now and see that they produce learners who can stand on their own anyway, not people who are reading to pass exams, not people who are focused on the pass at all cost syndrome, because this shift is going to change the dynamics of examination administration in Nigeria as far as secondary education is concerned. So it's a wake-up call, and we look forward to seeing schools compete strongly and produce world beaters based on the shift.
Thank you very much, sir, for that.
Thank you so
So,
much.
Adeboyega also would like to hear from you.
All right, thank you, Queensley. So I'm going to start with this. John Dewey said, if we continue to educate today's students using the outdated method, we hinder them their future potentials. So what this simply means that for teachers, we need to start changing the way we engage these students, these learners, for them to be able to like maximize their potentials. So one of the platforms that the school can adopt is EduTimes, and EduTimes really support the also supports teachers data insights for decision making. So whether your school is big, small, irrespective of the location, the size of your schools, and the pricing is very very friendly, and the system is user friendly. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, also, Mr. Adeboye Katayo. To our viewers, thank you so much. And definitely, we are going to get across the soft copies to you so you can look through and you can also learn more. And things that we couldn't talk about due to the time constraints, you can get to see all of those things. Thank you so much for joining in today. And it's once again, thank you to our facilitators. So, till we come your way again next time, please do not forget to learn, unlearn, relearn, and ensure no learner is left behind, because you do not want to make sure that they do not have any prior exposure to technology and just leave them wandering around and they just find themselves in the examination, or because that is the next phase, and they can't even, because if they are not aware of technology, then definitely how do they even get to answer those questions that they even know but they cannot use these tools well. So please endeavor to ensure that no learner is left behind. Try and adopt different models. Dr. Olumiola talked about different models, the rotational, the Alakater. She talked about so many models. And also, Dr. Ayobami Suberu also emphasized on the shift and told us that we should try and adopt technological tools that has technical support, ensure that our teachers get their digital literacy skills right, and ensure that we put in all of the infrastructures in place. Please let us endeavor to take all of these advices that has been given to us by our experts And also, do not forget to subscribe to your EduTimes platform. Definitely. EduTimes is a school and learning management platform. And definitely, we are also ensuring that you get all of these things and you transition into the new shift properly and seamlessly. My name remains Quincy Ademola, and I'm the Digital Education Assistant Manager of EduTimes. Till I come your way again next time, please do take care of yourself. Bye.
The all-in-one school and learning management portal designed for tertiary institutions, universities, polytechnics, and colleges. EduTimes Pro delivers a seamless digital transformation of students' experiences from admission to graduation, while empowering academic and administrative staff with tools to improve productivity and streamline teaching and learning. The platform is designed on an intuitive single login interface for all users, staff, and students, secured with role-based permissions and a two-factor authentication system for privacy. Personalized dashboards provide direct access to authorized modules, ensuring a smooth user experience. The admin dashboard acts as a centralized hub for real-time insights and quick navigation. Admins can track student and staff enrollments, daily, weekly, and yearly revenue with financial projections, and student performance analytics for data-driven decision-making. Quick links ensure seamless access to key modules like admissions, bursary, and registry. For admission officers, EduTimes Pro offers flexible tools to create admission batches, customize application forms, and set fees for early or late applications. Define separate admissions for undergraduate, postgraduate, or MD and HND programs. For applicants, the platform allows them to select a program of choice, submit applications, and pay fees online, print forms for records, and receive real-time notifications on admission status. Admission officers can review applications, send decision notifications, and configure automatic matric number generation based on the school's templates. The system ensures a smooth and transparent admission process with real-time analytics for stakeholders. The bursary model simplifies fee management and financial reporting. Bursary staff can define payment aids, school fees, acceptance fees, and more, and set installment options, e.g. 50/50 or 70/30. Students can view outstanding fees, select payment plans, and make payments with ease. Upon payment, students receive instant receipts, while bursary staff gain access to real-time financial reports for informed decision-making and account reconciliation. The academic planning module enables schools to define curricula, courses, grading systems, and course status for each program. This ensures academic structures meet accreditation requirements while supporting efficient course registration and result processing. One module streamlines course registration for all stakeholders. HODs can allocate courses and appoint level advisors. Students can register for approved courses within unit limits and print verified course forms. Level advisors can review and approve registrations, ensuring academic compliance. HODs gain access to registered class lists for effective student and course management. EduTimes Pro digitizes results processing for accuracy and efficiency. Lecturers upload scores and the system automatically grades them based on set standards. Results move seamlessly through approval levels from HODs to deans or directors and academic board. Once approved, students gain real-time access to view results and request transcripts from their dashboard. This streamlined process ensures reliable academic records and supports graduation clearance. Simplifying staff profiling and appointment processes. enabling institutions to assign roles and permissions for key stakeholders like deans and heads of departments. So, provides other extensible modules like the registry model for staff profile with customizable functionalities for managing appointments that grant different levels of roles and permissions. Hostel management that offer the platform for managing allocation of bed spaces to registered students, among others. EduTimes Pro is your trusted partner in efficient school management, streamlining school processes, providing digital infrastructure for optimizing staff productivity with integrated payment system for fees management in schools. Visit www.edutimes.net to learn more and request a demo today.